Welcome everyone. Today we'll have an updated Summoner's build for super tankiness. We're using Mind over Matter, which allows our damage taken to be converted to mana taken first before going to health. But looking over here, my mana is constantly regenerating and also I'm not losing health. So this is such an upgrade to my survivability and also to my damage output as I gain even higher casting speed and also mana regen. Together with a combination of the latest unique and also combination of the skill tree choices, we can tank anything. And notice over here I tank one of those massive shots. And here I purposely went without mana potions, with nothing on, and I'm just tanking everything. With the combination of Racing Shield, you can become the ultimate summoner tank for your minions and pretty much never die in 99% of the case. And looking over here, I'm just face tanking everything. My minion came and killed everyone. And I wasn't even casting anything, did you see that? So over here, we also have some testings against bosses and also fights. Now because my build was doing a lot of damage, it was a little harder to get the boss to hit me. And I'm like, hit me, hit me. And here is one of the bosses coming from Act 3. And I initially had this idea to do the Mind over Matter, which converts your damage to mana first before health, but I was trying to tweak the min and max and get everything right. After finding the right unique build and also testing a little more, I've decided this is a good build to share with you guys, and I think you guys will really enjoy this. Because our common summoner with SRS, Summoning Raging Spirit Summoner, we do a lot of damage, so the damage is not a problem. Now you have the survivability, you become unkillable. Now just to show you guys a little more, because I like to tank things, I found another boss, so I went in front of him and I was like, hit me. This time I wasn't even raising my shield, basically standing in front of him and we're taking almost no damage at all. The boss is dying really fast and I'm just taking it. So yes, this new build setup is extremely tanky for the summoner and we can scale amazingly in the late game, as I'm going to show you guys on the second part. So before we do anything, let's briefly dive into the core concept of this build. Because we're pathing on here already, I have decided to try Mind over Matter, which means all damage taken from mana before life, 50% less mana recovery, but we'll try to fix the mana recovery with multiple ways. So knowing this is the case, once you have enough mana, you're not losing life. And we also have ways to convert more ways into mana with Enriched Battery, which converts an energy shield to mana. We also have ways to get amazing amount of mana over here with our future Ascension talent. So this is an extremely good scaling factor for the summoners, especially for the Infernalist. Now in order to understand the build, before we dive into the skill trees, yes, there are some updates, and here I want to show you the highlight piece of this build. Because we're taking a lot of damage as mana, one of the best ways is actually to recoup damage taken as mana. So this is kind of broken. So basically when you take damage, it costs you to recover amount over the period of 8 seconds. And this means 50% of damage I'm taking comes back as mana, while this means the damage I'm taking is mana taking the damage. So literally I'm taking mana damage, but I'm recovering that damage over the 8 seconds by 50% of that. And what's better is there is also trees that in the skill tree that allows you to take even more damage recoup as mana, which I plan to go if I need to be extremely tanky. Another 20% over here, and there is another 6% over here. Together with stacking energy shield, we can have even higher mana, which can all be recuperated to gain even more mana regen and also more mana sustain to become the extreme tank for the summoners. So now coming over to my skill tree links. Now I do have to say I have been making way too many videos and not leveling. I'm still in Act 5 and I haven't gotten the next socket of the gems. But don't be too worried, I have some plans for those gems. I even have the spots ready. So briefly go through what gems you can have on the next link. And next video, I promise I'll have all my 3 links and I'll show you guys all the testings for those 3 links. And I have updated all the links to at least 2 links for most of the skills. So here we have Raise Shield, and this is just coming from the shield. Now in terms of the shield, I'm using this one because you actually move much faster. If I'm using this one, you actually have a movement speed penalty. Notice I'm moving much slower. So the ability to have a shield that moves faster, I didn't need the 50 spirit. It's nice, but I do enough damage. So the difference between the 2 shields is about 15% or 20% movement speed difference, which is pretty massive. Now as for the Infernal Horn, nothing has changed. Mid shield, minion stability, and also internal flame to do a little bit more damage. In terms of bow offering, yes, I'm using 2 offerings now. From the previous video, you might have noticed I have perked away from minion life because this allows me to instantly explode my fire spirit. Definitely check that out. This is amazing. Tons of more damage. So now, I'm assuming you watched the last video. That's why I perked out of the minion revive here and also minion life over here, but rather went over here and also higher duration and also 40% more damage when I have 2 totems. Not totems, offerings. So yes, the first offering we have is going to be Bone Offering, which I'm going with Font of Blood and also Elemental Army. Elemental Army just because I happen to have it. Ideally, I want the supporting, which I don't have. Let me show you guys over here. So Bone Offering, I want those. I want the 3rd level of the supporting, but I don't have the supporting gem level or the grade for those yet. So Elemental Army is not a big one, but Font of Blood allows us to be even tankier, and also our minions to be tanky. In terms of Radiant Spirit, we have Fire Infusion, we have Feeding Frenzy, and after this you can go optional with Fire Penetration, you can go with Infernal Legion, which are optional. If you pick one of them, likely the other one will go to our Skeleton Arsonist. So Skeleton Arsonist, we have Magnify Effect and also Scatter Shot. Again, I'll probably go with Infernal Legion on the Infernal Spirit and Fire Penetration on the Skeleton Arsonist. Now here for Firewall, I have made some changes for Firewall, so I am using Arcane Surge because I'm casting Firewall a lot. And let me show you guys, I'm casting. So I'm trying to use all my mana, and the moment you use 100% of your mana, you gain Arcane Surge, which greatly increases your casting speed and also mana regen. It's perfect, right? So in that sense, I am getting more mana regen to become unkillable, and also getting more casting speed for more spell damage and also more castings. And this can be looped, and every 8 seconds we're getting this. So this is pretty good. And here of course we have Fortress, so this goes around. Now the Firewall is a bit underrated because once we have Firewall, our skeleton minions within the Firewall will deal additional fire damage. The projectiles becomes fire, and this enhances the fire damage dealt as well for my Skeleton Arsonist. As we keep going, the Pen Offering is a very big damage boost. Here I decide to have Persistence to increase its duration, and also we have the Font of Mana to gain even more mana regen for my unkillable build. Now Persistence was previously used with Flame ability because this skill I wanted to last longer, but majority of the time the bosses are dying within 5 seconds, so I didn't need this one to be longer. So Flame ability has changed with Heightened Curse, which allows us to have even stronger curse, which is great, and here we have less cost. So this is a good combination. And finally, we still have the Lightning Teleportation Summoner. Lightning Warp still allows us to recover HP and one-shot enemies on low life. So here you can see we can one-shot enemies on 10 to 5% low life, which will be great and also amazing when you go to the end game when bosses are super hard to kill. And because I have so many skills, you can press Alt and have one more skill bar. So this way you can have more skill castings. So a little trick over here. Now coming over to my skill traits. Similar to before, we path this way. I have picked Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, whatever stats I needed for my gears, and focus on higher intelligence, which will help you to get more mana and also provide you with unlocking higher rank of skills. So notice my skills at level 17, not only because of my gears, but also because I can get the highest rank of skills. So let's keep going. And I should put this on. I was like, how come it's only level 17? Because it should be level 19, right? Hey. I'll show you my gears very soon. So as we path over here, you can see that I took away the points over here. I'm still sticking with those points. I have those points over here to have some good damage and also resistance. And of course, we went over here for area and also mana reservation. The bigger point is over here. And as you can see, I'm passing over here for more minion damage, accuracy, and even more casting and also attack speed. At the same time, it is very easy to go over here, converting my energy shield to additional mana, which means it's free life. And I'm also going to get a lot of mana regen, a lot of mana recouped, a lot of damage recouped as mana, and even better stats over here. So the option is limitless for this build now that we open up to the Mind over Matter, which is an amazing choice. And after testing this build is going to be amazing. Now, in terms of the rest pathing, I will be updating the mobilities guide, my builder's guide, and I'll show you guys the pathing, and I'll try to give you which one to prioritize. And coming over here, I do want to talk about this a little bit. I actually geeked out a little bit for some notes. So, as you go to your third ascension, you can get the maximum life, which is great, but here you can get additional spirit. Lose 25% life, but then gain additional spirit. So currently I have 1,130 life. So what does this mean? So this means that much life, I'll be sitting on 850 life, which seems pretty low, but good that I'm super tanky on mana, right? So in that sense, I am getting around 34 bonus spirit, which is not amazing, but it's something. But alternatively, if I decide to go with 1 mana per 6 max life, which is going to be this node, you actually become more tanky by having more mana. And if that was the case, I will be getting around 141 maximum mana. Now again, I won't say this is the biggest scale of mana, but as I get more HP, this also scales to give me even more mana for late game tankiness for the summoner. The downside is, if I pick both of those, I'll be reserving, 50% life, and it makes the value for both of them even weaker. So I'm thinking that I can perk for this for damage, but if I need to be tanky, I can perk for this to become tankier. Now during this time, you might have noticed my mana is not the highest because I'm using this chest, which I do plan to replace in the future, because my intelligence are not adding to my mana. And I have how much intelligence? I have 120 intelligence at the moment, so I'm missing 240 plus mana. And this is pretty big deal, right? So 240 mana, I should be on like 600 mana. And this makes me a little squishy, but this 100 spirit provide me with more damage. So briefly going through the items, nothing has really changed for the weapons. I do need to upgrade. The chest is still the same as before, and I have those 2 socketed just for elemental resistance in the early game. In Act 5 at the moment, my resistance are those, which are pretty decent. I can go with higher, a little bit with this one, but this kind of breaks my stats. And I don't want to lose the movement speed, so hence the choice of the shield over here. Now the helmet is still the same, +2 to all minions, +2 to all minions, and +2, oh, not this one, +2 to all minions on the amulet. I always forget, half of the time I'm playing the game, I had this amulet on, just so I can equip my other gears. This is pretty good, because I can convert energy shield to mana very soon with this particular passive. So in your stats, which I'll update for you guys, you can now look for stats like energy shield, you can look for mana regen, you can get life, you can get mana, everything will make you stronger because of the latest build. For the rings, they're really out of date. I can change those for more mana, and also more mana regen, and also more resistance. And finally, of course, for the gloves, nothing major, just some resistance and much needed dexterity. For the boots, you want higher movement speed, this is essential. As for the belt, this belt is going to be the centerpiece. I don't recommend going to mind over matter before you get this belt. And on this part, I did do some research for you guys. And yes, I'll be updating my mobility build for you guys on this one. So, the research, did they go? Research? Yes. So, at the moment on the market, there is about 41, oh, it's dropping. Before it was 51. Maybe depending on the time of the day. So there are 41 of those belts for sale. It's not a lot, it's not too little. So if you want to try this build, they're currently selling for 3 Exile. I'm assuming after posting this video, likely some of you or a lot of you will be trying to buy this. Now, 2 days ago, those were selling for 20 Exile. The price has been falling quite a bit because no one made the video. Yes, after this guide, expect a little bit price Skype. And because you're my viewers, I need to warn you. If you're planning to play this build, it is important to have this belt. And this one's so cheap, I might buy it. I bought mine for like 6-7 Exile. So if you want to play this build, which will be amazing, better pick up this belt before the price goes up. And this is so important. Because sometimes I see YouTubers make a video, they don't warn you about the price inflation and the crucial gears goes up. And you're like, I can't play this build anymore. Why did you make this? So while I'm making this video, guys, it is extremely cheap. And you can use active live search, and this will show you new items that appear instantly. So you get a 5 minutes ahead of window. See, this shows this item. And for most players who doesn't use this feature, they will not see this item until 5 minutes later. So make sure you watch our previous training guide for those tricks. Now finally, because we're kind of using mana, here I have mana recovered instantly and also more charges. Anything of that will do. Higher mana regen on low mana, mana recover instantly. Just pick your choice of the potions, see which one works for you, and overall, popping the potions is not a problem. My life potion heals me, my mana potion heals me, everything makes me stronger and also survivable. Now before I finish the video, let's quickly go in through the skill rotations for this new setup. Well, now you do tons of damage, you're extremely tanky, not much to be said. The only downside is you might not used to having the mana deplete instantly, so you should get in the habit of using mana potion. Other than that, you are still spamming your spells, and you can raise your shield to become even more durable. And here I purposely try to tank up those elite monsters, and not a problem. So I got the massive lightning slam, and was really tanky. And even if you have no mana potions, you can use raise shield. And while raising the shield, you'll be reducing damage taken, and you'll be actually recouping some mana. If you have enough mana regen, you'll quickly get more flash charges and casting more spells, and enemy will die because your skeleton minions are killing them. And finally for the bosses, you want to summon your flame wall for the summoning raging spirit, and you also want to debuff the boss with curses, and then that's it. You can raise the shield, but you don't have to. Everything will die, and now you become unkillable tank. Now hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I think I deserve a subscribe and also a like, right? And make sure you comment to tell me what you think about this build. Yes, my next focus is to actually level and also play my character. I've been making a lot of guides lately, only level 52, but I already have the concept all the way up to level 80 now. I've been planning, I've been looking, and now I want to play the game. So in the future videos, expect and hopefully I'll be much higher level to show you guys more testing and also a more tested, well-rounded skill tree and also passive tree. So stay tuned for the future videos for the summoners.
Give up. I must save my people.
You know why we're here. It happened. It cannot be stopped.
No, I will succeed. Let's see you survive this. The destruction of Exile will be repaid 1,000-fold. What? How? Get up! Get up! Let's go!
Now before we finish, if you guys haven't subscribed, this is a really good time to do so because I'll be looking into the latest Path of Exile 2 news on different communities and also on our official forum, official webpage. I'll also be looking into the best build for each of the class as the meta develops with the Chinese and also the English community. So stay tuned for the latest update and also guides for Path of Exile 2. And of course, this is gonna be a big month for us. And I'll try to bring you guys all of the latest content and also guides for Path of Exile 2 to come.